All right, so today we are unpacking the SAP Best Practices package for Employee Central. Now, what is that? Well, think of it like a pre-built blueprint for a world-class HR system. It's designed to give you a massive head start on any implementation. Let's dig in and see how it all works. So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll define what this blueprint actually is. Then we'll explore its universal core components. After that, we'll see how it cleverly adapts to local details, look at features that go beyond just the basics, and we'll wrap up with some crucial advice straight from the architect. And by that, I mean SAP itself. So let's start with the big question. What's really in the box? You know, when you hear the term SAP Best Practices, what does that actually mean for you and your project? I mean, just imagine the challenge for a second. You have to build a global HR system for a company that operates all over the world, from scratch. Where would you even begin? The number of processes, rules, and data points you'd have to figure out, honestly, it can be totally overwhelming. And that's exactly where this blueprint comes in. See, SAP Best Practices isn't a blank slate, not at all. It's a pre-built foundation, a really rich portfolio of ready-to-use configurations that can dramatically speed up your project. We're talking about saving months of design and development work. So what's actually inside this foundation? Let's start with the universal core. These are the components designed to work for just about everyone, everywhere, right out of the box. First up, you get the organizational skeleton. You get pre-configured structures for your entire company. You know, things like divisions, job classifications, pay grades. It even includes the payment information section with built-in validations for country-specific bank details. It's the perfect example of how you're just not starting from a blank page. Next, think about all the workflows. Every standard HR event you can think of, promotions, transfers, terminations, it comes with a pre-configured workflow, complete with the approval steps already built in. This alone is a huge, huge time saver. And the system? It's also got some brains built right in. It comes with a whole bunch of business rules and alerts, so it can proactively tell managers about expiring work permits or probation periods. It also has validation rules to keep your data clean, like flagging if an employee's full-time equivalent, or FTE, is entered as greater than 1. What this really means is the system helps you maintain data integrity right from day one. Okay, a global template is great, but we all know HR is intensely local. So let's see how this blueprint adapts to meet all those different country-specific requirements, or as I like to call them, the local building codes. And the scale here is, well, it's impressive. The Best Practices package provides localized configurations for Employee Central Core across 60 different countries. 60! That is a massive amount of localized expertise that's already baked right into the solution for you. And this is just a little taste of the global coverage. From major economies in the Americas and Europe to key hubs in Asia Pacific and the Middle East, chances are the countries you operate in are already covered. That gives you a tailored starting point for each and every one. Okay, now this is where it gets really tangible. Just look at this comparison between the US and Germany. The terms for employee class and employment type are completely different, right? And that reflects unique labor laws and cultural norms. The Best Practices package delivers these localized values and their translations right out of the box. This is so critical for user adoption and for compliance. But this blueprint goes beyond just the core employee record. It also provides pre-configured content for other key HR functions. You can see some of those extra modules here, but you've got to notice the difference in version type. It's super important. Some modules like position management come as a general global template. But for the really heavily regulated areas like time off or benefits, you get localized versions for specific countries, already loaded up with all their relevant rules and configurations. All right, and finally, no blueprint is ever complete without some advice from the architect. So let's look at a couple of key recommendations and clarifications that come directly from SAP. Now, this is a big one. SAP strongly advises implementing position management with Employee Central. So why? Well, because it's the leading practice for managing your organization. It creates a really clear structure of approved positions that drives everything else, from hiring to budgeting. And ultimately, it's what sets you up for true strategic workforce planning. And here's a critical reality check. While this package provides the pre-configured system, the structure of the house, it does not include migrating your existing employee data. That process, moving all your furniture in, that's a whole separate project that you really need to plan for. It's a vital distinction to get your head around from the very start. So after seeing what's in the box, we come back to this. SAP Best Practices for Employee Central offers a powerful, pre-configured, and localized foundation. It's really designed to accelerate your project, reduce your risk, and implement leading HR processes from day one. So the question to leave you with is this: is this blueprint the right head start for your global HR project?